Welcome to Exploring the Ancient Forest. It's now been about 30 years since the Australian death doom band Paramaecium released their second album, Within the Ancient Forest. The lyrics to that album were based on a book, which made them very cool. In this episode, however, we're going to have a look at Paramaecium's other albums and their lyrics, and just see where that takes us. So, here we are again, after Exhumed of the Earth and Within the Ancient Forest. Paramaecium's third album came out in 1999. This one was self-released, and it was called A Time to Mourn. By this time, all the other band members had left, so I guess Andrew Tompkins was kind of looking around for musicians to help him. And so he teamed up with Ian Arkley, back then, of the British doom band Ashen Mortality. Ian Arkley was also in Seventh Angel. I think that Seventh Angel were not active at this time, though. Ashen Mortality, on the other hand, had just released their final album, and so I guess this would have been what Ian Arkley was mostly known for. At the time, Ian Arkley contributed quite a lot to the music of this album. Nevertheless, the lyrics are written by Andrew Tompkins, as always. And is this a concept album? I don't know. That's what I'm going to discuss. One more thing. During my reading of these lyrics, I got very emotional at one point. I had not seen that coming. So yeah, this is going to be pretty intense. Have fun listening. Okay, moving on to A Time to Mourn. Now, the title itself comes from the Bible, right? From the book of Ecclesiastes. A time to mourn, a time to dance, and so on. So there's always these pairs. A time to love, a time to hate, a time to live, a time to die, and so on. It's kind of, a bit strange to single out one of those verbs if they always come in pairs in the original text, but okay. A Time to Mourn. Yeah. This album is filled with the most personal, I would say. It's the least conceptual. So Exhumed of the Earth was a concept, basically the life of Jesus as a death doom record. Within the Ancient Forest was a concept, if ever there was a concept, right? There's a whole book, and the lyrics are the story of that book. And even the newest CD, Echoes from the Ground, follows a concept. This one, there kind of is something like a concept reflected in particularly the lyrics to two of the songs, Enter in Time and Even the Walls, I think. And here, I have to rely on my own memory. I do seem to remember emailing about this with Ian Arkley and asking him sort of what the concept, what the idea behind these lyrics was. And of course, I'm now sort of quoting from the memory of talking to somebody 20 years ago, so it might be completely inaccurate. But what I recall the answer being was something like that the central image for him writing these lyrics was that of a house, and the house stands for an individual's life, and the rooms of the house are sort of the different aspects of that person's life. And I seem to remember him quoting the line from the Bible where Jesus says, "I am the door," and taking this idea that Christianity should lead, or a sort of lived faith should lead to what I would call integration today. So to this idea of healing through integration, or of sort of bringing together these different aspects of somebody's personality or whatever. The image of the door does appear a few times, particularly in those two songs, I think. But we can go through these songs one by one, and frankly, I don't have much to say about some of these songs because they're so open, I would say, open to interpretation. First of all, the two instrumentals, which are not really instrumental because there's one line being sung in both, namely "A Moment" and "Unceasing," which are sort of bookends to the album. That's a very, very cool idea. Music written by Ian Arkley. And the lyrics go, "Life is a moment," and then "Life is unceasing." So just one line each. And of course, a paradox if you put them both together. Life is a moment, but life is also unceasing. I guess it plays around with this idea of life being sort of biological life on the one hand, but then also the Greek Zoe life from the New Testament. So life eternal, life is unceasing. I'm making this much more biblical than it probably really is from the very beginning here. I mean, knowing that Andrew Tompkins certainly was a Christian when he was writing this, it kind of makes sense too. And there's also this a song with some very, very good lyrics that I really like to this very day for various reasons, namely "Live for the Day," which seems to be about a kind of maturing of somebody's faith. So leaving behind immaturity and old, more superficial ways of thinking and believing for a much more sort of integrated thing. I think maybe "Live for the Day," that might be the most important song lyrically, which would maybe help us understand the rest of the album too. Anyway, after "A Moment," we get "I'm Not to Blame," which, yeah, what do we do with these lyrics? I don't know. I have an idea, but I don't want to sweep in with my interpretation before I just look at the lyrics one more time. So the lyrics go, "The night becomes the day, the darkness is swept away. My life became the death. The pain was in my last spoken breath." Okay, so somebody died. The person who's speaking is somebody who died. Okay, and now it goes on. "They always rely too much on me. They hide and think I can't see. They offer up their lies. I see it lurking behind their eyes. I'm not to blame."
The night comes the day, the darkness swept away. My life claimed the dead, the pain was in my spoken breath.
They always rely
Too much on me. They
The door has been left wide. They have been left to decide. It seems the more I gave, the less I got, the more that they crave. They always rely too much on me. They hide and think I can't see. They think it's all a game. And when it's done, they call out my name, but I'm not to blame. I held the will to live, but I decided to give in ways they could decry, but choose instead to watch as I die. They always rely too much on me, but they don't realize. They always rely so much on me that they don't realize that it's not up to me. I think this is now my interpretation, okay? It's spoken from the perspective of the risen Christ, who said, look, I died for these people, and they're always praying to me in such a superstitious way, as if I were to blame for their mistakes, basically. And it's basically, they're insincere with me. And when it's done, they keep sinning. That's my interpretation, of course, right? And when it's done, they call out my name again. Okay. It's not my fault that they keep doing it. It's almost this, I don't know. If it's the divine talking here, it's a really angry, it's sort of, God is pissed about the behavior of some of God's followers, I guess. They always rely too much on me. It's not up to me. It's up to them. Okay, so you can read this different ways. I don't know. It could be sort of just angry. People aren't good enough. They're too superficial when they pray or something like that. Or it could be, grow up, people, grow up. This cycle of sinning and then asking for forgiveness, and that's just immature. I don't know. That's my interpretation, I guess. Okay, my thoughts.
My life, my day, they all just seem to pass away. My dream, my thought, they all just seem to come to naught. I find each day has its own little story. Each waking
My life, my days, they all just seem to pass away. My dreams, my thoughts, they all just seem to come to naught. Naught means nothing here. I find each day has its own little story. Each waking hour has its own little glory. The pages say that my soul has been borrowed. What are the pages? I don't know. This book will show up again and again, I think, too, in these lyrics. My life, my days, they all just seem to pass away. My thoughts, my dreams are seldom what they seem. Given time, all the pain seems to melt away. Even time cannot heal that which promised to stay forevermore. Given time, even pain I can hold in sway. I will wait with it hidden, then loosed on the final day. At times I've hated the lives of the living, wished all could see their salacious forgiving. The pages say that my soul has been borrowed. I can't spend my life making sure that tomorrow never comes. My life, my days, my dreams, my thoughts, at times I've hated the lives of the living. Again, kind of interesting, right? So the speaker is clearly not God this time. The speaker seems to be a human who is, but equally fed up with people somehow, right? My own life seems to go nowhere. It all just passes away. It turns into nothing. I'm holding pain, which just stays and will be maybe released on the final day. And I think the most powerful line is this: at times I've hated the lives of the living, wished all could see their salacious forgiving. I guess that's the same general feeling here again, that, these people, these superficial people who sort of use their religion to remain bad people, basically. That's the only sense I can read into this. At times I've hated the lives of the living. Okay, very mysterious, right? At the same time, very mysterious. The pages say that my soul has been borrowed. I don't know what that refers to, really. Okay, then betrayed again.
I have been betrayed again for my right to be denied. All my friends turned me in. I have been betrayed by them, even though I have done my own. Even tempered, I've thought.
Wow. I think this is also written from the perspective of someone who's just fed up with people somehow. So I've been betrayed again. All my rights have been denied. All my friends have turned me in. I've been betrayed by them. Even though I've done my all, even-tempered, I've thought it through. Though in pain, had the wherewithal to suspect they were hurting too. Okay. In the nighttime I cry, in the nighttime I lie, in the nighttime I die. In the nighttime I cry that I've been betrayed. I've been betrayed again. Silent curses filled my mind. Terror waits, I can't condemn, though I have been betrayed by them. Patient-minded in certitude, that this anguish will over time take the remnants of servitude to the heights of the near sublime. Okay. What does this mean? My interpretation. People are assholes. I feel like shit. I would like to curse them, but I kind of don't. Because they're hurting too. And I can't condemn them. Even though I have been betrayed by them. And yeah, I pray that this will be over soon or something like that. So, sort of oscillating between this sort of disgust and hatred of other people, and then at the same time, no, they're hurting too. I don't know. There's nothing Christian about this song, by the way. There's not a single, I don't think there's even an allusion to the Bible or anything. The heights of the near sublime, I have no idea what that refers to. That could be referring to God, maybe. But apart from that, I think this is a completely secular song, so to speak. Okay, the next song, Enter in Time. Very mysterious, is how I recall this to be. By the way, I'm reading all these lyrics for the first time right now, in years, and thinking about them for the first time again. I haven't really listened to this music in a longer time as well. So, from the outside, all appeared serene, the garden framing a dreamlike scene. In the beginning, the house was new. The rooms were warm. There was much to do. I opened up the door and walked through, and maybe now I've come to see the light is whiter. And the life will enter in time. It's always whiter. And the life is ever in time. Okay. That's the first verse. Very, very mysterious. Dreamlike. There's a new house, right? Things are starting. Things are beginning. There's hope. And then he switches to this, very difficult to understand thing about the light being whiter, and whiter than what, right? So maybe now I've come to see the light is whiter. Oof. Okay. and the life will enter in time. That line didn't help. I don't know. It's very mythological, right? Very, very big. I don't know. Okay, the next verse, again, we begin with a very concrete image. Gravely, the old man with grayish hair, waiting sadly beneath the stair, frail hands reaching out anew, called for me, bid me thereinto. In brackets, I hate myself. What's going on? This is so weird, right? So the beginning was we had a house, a new house, a lot of hope. The rooms were warm. There was much to do. And now we have sort of the opposite. We have an old man waiting for something to happen beneath the stair, reaching out his hands, kind of creepy, called for me. So the speaker is sort of drawn in, sort of below the stair, maybe into the cellar or something, or maybe into sort of deeper into the house or into a dark nook corner of the house that he doesn't really want to go into. I don't know. It's really weird. And now he says, I hate myself. I'm 100% positive that this line is not sung, actually. It's only in the printed lyrics. Which is a good reason to buy CDs, people. CDs with booklets that are made with lots of love, like this one here. You get entire worlds, for lack of a better word. You get entire levels that are just not there in the music, actually, from having printed lyrics. And maybe now I've come to see the light is wider, and so that part stays the same. Okay, third scene. All I have left is this memory, thoughts of how loving used to be. All I have left is this tainted view, painfully I'm in love with you. I open up the door and walk through. And maybe now I've come to see the light is wider and the life will enter in time. It's always wider and the life is ever in time. Okay. This was not so concrete, so we have these lines about all I have left is a memory of love, but I'm still in love somehow. Tainted. It's a tainted view. I don't know. Something happened which was not so good. It's probably due to that crazy old man with gray hair who was sitting beneath the stairs. Okay, a very, very strange text. Very symbolic. Yeah. We could refer to it as allegorical, maybe. If the old man is an allegory of something. Maybe time itself, Father Time. I don't know. But why would he hate himself then? For just growing old? I don't know. Okay, the next song, I would say, is the most important one for me. These lyrics are really well written, and I think they also tell a truth, which is really important. A truth about religious communities and faith communities. Back in the day, I don't really know if I would have understood these lyrics the way I understand them right now. But I think they're really, really good and wholesome. So live for the day. The first verse goes like this. The light of morn pours through the window to settle on pages torn. There actually was a t-shirt with these lyrics on it. The book so old, vainly the truth waits for someone to read, but is untold. Time is running out, for the answer is clearer now. Okay, so the first scene, you have a very old book, but also the light of morning sort of dawning onto this very old book, which is in itself a very, very cool image somehow. Behind the ordinary lives something quite impure. That's a powerful line to begin with. And this line is going to be repeated in all three verses, actually. It's kind of cool, too. A latent visionary sees that which can't endure. They take away the sadness. They take away the pain. They say she'll never have to think for herself again. Man, I'm tearing up just reading this. I don't know why. These lyrics are so powerful. And then comes the release. Live for the day. Live life the way you want to. Give what you may. But don't let them take life from you.
They take away the sadness. They take away the pain. They say she'll never have to think for herself again. Live for the day. Live life the way you want to. Give what you may. But don't let them take life from you.
Wow. I had to pause the recording. I had not been expecting that. To anybody who has been part of a manipulative faith-based community and found their way out, this is very, very powerful, actually. So a religion, a community that takes away sadness, takes away pain, and actually takes away the capacity to think for yourself is what is being talked about here. Okay, the second verse goes, too young, too shy, but even her ancestors knew not when they would die. The sands of time slipping away whilst she meditates on her last crime. Yeah, we're back to the world of the first song, I'm Not to Blame. People basically wasting time in this, or wasting energy, I should say, on this cycle of sinning and repenting, which seems to be at the heart of a lot of people's spirituality, sadly enough. Okay, time is running out, for the answer is clearer now. Behind the ordinary lives something quite impure. Holy they masquerade and purport to hold the cure. They take away the sadness, they take away the pain. They say she'll never have to think for herself again. Live for the day, live and do what you want to. Give what you may, but don't let them take life from you. Live for the day, live life the way you want to. Give what you may, but don't let them take life from you. They're counting the sands of time. They're touching the sound of moonlight. Wow. This is an effect called synesthesia, I think, in literary studies. The use of multiple different senses at the same time. So we have touch, sound, and sight here. And they're touching the sound of moonlight. A very brilliant line. So this could be read as meaning something like they're doing the impossible, or they're demanding the impossible, or something like that. They're sealing the book of life. They're taking the truth from time. And then behind the ordinary lives something quite impure, the taste of innocence found, that taste which can't endure. They take away the sadness, they take away the pain. They say she'll never have to think for herself again. Yeah. And then the chorus is repeated. Okay, I kind of knew and suspected that this would be the most powerful lyric for me, but yeah, I still underestimated it. Okay, moving on to the last song with lyrics here, Even the Walls, and this one returns to this image of the house again. I think it's the same as this image in the song Enter in Time, with the house and the stairs and everything, and the doors. So Even the Walls goes like this. Faded by the hands of time, faint echoes of my childhood dream. The images of days gone by are seldom what they seem. The candle light spells out my name. The breeze from below leads the dance of the flame. Suddenly, no one recalls. Yesterday's men have vacated the halls. Ooh. Okay. So there were people in the halls and they're gone. Keep in mind, I think that the house represents somebody's life, and the rooms being sort of the different aspects of their life. And this song seems to be about memory, the fading of memories. Okay, and they all stay away from the home of their youth, and they all say they pray, but pretend with the truth. There we have it again, religious hypocrisy. I know I once was like them, old in word and deed, but my youth survived and revived the ravages of need. So it's about being old versus being young, I guess. Never has an open door presented me itself to claim, even though the walls persist in singing out my name. Okay, the candlelight was spelling out his name, and now the walls are singing out his name. Even the walls know my name. The candlelight flickers the dance of the flame. Suddenly no one recalls. All of my deeds are adorning the halls. That's an interesting garden path sentence. Suddenly no one recalls. All of my deeds are adorning the halls. So is all of my deeds the object of suddenly no one recalls? Or is it the subject of all of my deeds are adorning the halls? Could be both. The typeset suggests that is actually the subject. All of my deeds are adorning the halls is a line in the booklet. And the way that I've lived makes the world that I've known. And I know what I give, I must give on my own. Yeah, that's kind of live for the day again. Give what you may. For it seems each room holds the key to open other doors. As I make my way through the house, I'm finding more and more. So basically finding new things in your own life, finding new aspects, maybe. I don't know. Folded years before this day, the dust has found its chance to fall. The note from one with loving thoughts was never read at all. That recalls, or that harks back to the beginning of Live for the Day with the unread book, the dust settling on the pages of the unread book. It's kind of the same thing here. Even the walls know my name. The candlelight flickers the dance of the flame. Suddenly no one recalls what they said. Yesteryear's heroes are waking up dead. Okay, it's weird. Suddenly no one recalls what they said. What they themselves said? So people are forgetting what they said? Which would add to, I mean, if that's what this means, that would sort of add to this general idea of growing up and not being so superstitious, not being so, I don't know. Yeah, anyway. And I owe my whole life to the name on the page. And I look to my wife in the midst of my age. First time his wife is mentioned. I think. Okay, once again. I owe my whole life to the name on the page. Who's the name on the page? So we know that there's the note from one of loving thoughts in this, earlier in the same song. And there's the book with the dust on the pages, which is unread. Oh, and then there's the pages say that my soul has been borrowed, right? Earlier in, that was in the song My Thoughts. Could be referring to the Bible, even though that would be a bit bland. straightforward. It could be, I don't know, just a symbol of religion or something like that, or symbol of the tradition that he grew up with. But who is the name on the page? So, God? I don't know. Once again, the divine? I don't know. He owes his whole life to the name on the page. And I look to my wife in the midst of my age. We both have lived with the thought of traveling afar. For this house is old, and our home will find us where we are. The house is getting old, and they maybe want to leave. I don't know. Our home will find us where we are. That this house is not their home. Interesting way to end this album, and then the only thing left is Unceasing, which I already read out. Right, that's the line. Life is unceasing. Okay, that's A Time to Mourn. In a nutshell, an album about maturing in terms of your relationship to your upbringing, to your faith upbringing, maybe even leaving behind certain faith communities. That could be part of what Live for the Day is all about. And seeing your life as a house with rooms, with different aspects. At the same time, the house is growing old and it's not truly your home or something like that. I mean, that's what I read into the last final lyrics there in Even the Walls. Framed by this whole dichotomy of life is a moment versus life is unceasing, of course. Okay, so that's A Time to Mourn. So that has been my little reading / discussion / commentary analysis, whatever, of the A Time to Mourn lyrics. For me, this has been the most, the richest, I guess, and the most emotional one to return to after so many years. We have one more album to go, and that's Echoes from the Ground, which I'm saving up for the next episode. So, talk to you then.